Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Writers Chat. We are so thankful you're here with us today. It's a gorgeous day here in Oklahoma. I hope it's a gorgeous day wherever you are too. We're here with our usual community, and we're so glad for each person who's joined us. We're going to be talking about the practice of creativity. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Melissa Stroh and Brandy Brow, and Brandy's the one who's actually going to lead this session. Maybe that's because she's one of the most creative among us in different ways. Like a lot of us have, I saw that face you made. But you know, like me, I write, I can do nothing else. Can't sing, can't draw, nothing else, just write is all I can do. But there are several people in here who do a lot more than that. And Brandy is one of them. And she just has it's always fun to talk to her because she just has a different perspective on things and just kind of brings in a lot of visuals, which I appreciate. And so we're just going to turn it over to her. We're going to be talking about practicing creativity, and we just hope that you'll join us in doing whatever Brandy tells us to do this morning.
I think that was Johnny's way of saying I'm a little odd, which I already know and I'm totally fine with.
So like Brandy has the power now, right? Yes, we all have to do what she says.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, let me start by saying that while other people think I'm very creative, creativity is one of the things that I most struggle with. And I didn't understand why this creativity thing was so hard for me until I began reading The Mental Game of Writing by James Scott Bell. In that book, he had a little chapter on creativity, and he mentioned something about scheduling creativity. And I went, oh, scheduling creativity? And he's like, yes, you should schedule creativity. Try to have creative sessions, 30-minute sessions once a week. And I'm like, oh, because I wasn't doing that. And I was sitting there thinking, well, gee, if I'm not practicing creativity, is it any wonder that I have a hard time coming up with something fresh when I'm trying to write something? I'm just trying to do it on a spot. I'm not having creative sessions. This is my daughter. And so today's session, we're just going to learn how to practice some creativity. So James Scott Bell in this book gives 5 tips, and I added a 4th one in the middle there, and I'll tell you what it is. His 5 tips are: prod your brain, get lots of ideas, do not censor anything. I inserted persist, and then rest, and then assess. So we're going to do each of these things today. Let's see. Yes. One thing about producing ideas and creativity is that you have to get the creativity from stimulating your mind intentionally, but then subconsciously. So we can do something about the intentional part. The subconscious is a little bit tricky, but the subconscious is what comes up with a lot of really cool ideas. So we're going to start on number 1 by prodding the brain, that is intentionally poking it to try and get the subconscious working. So I hope everybody got the tip. And if you didn't, it's really easy to fix. Grab some paper. A pencil would be great because I want you to have the ability to erase if you need to or want to. I originally had, I'm going to lead you in a drawing. So this is something that you don't have to have any special skills for. You're like, well, I can't draw. Well, don't worry about it. All you have to do is follow what I do. I'm going to share using the whiteboard. And when I draw something on the board, I'll give you a little instruction. You draw it on your paper. Oh, does the phone have to ring now? Hold on. All right, we don't need the Police Officers Association right now. And the other phone is still ringing. Oh. Interruptions, they happen all the time in life, right? It's okay.
I want to know why pencils don't have decent erasers anymore.
Amen.
They really, they
Amen.
just smear. They don't, they're
A lot of
awful.
them do. I gotta tell you, my favorite erasers are the white ones. They work really good.
Got that one too.
The ones you get at the art supply store.
I like.
Yeah, yeah. Well, these you can get at Walmart.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get them in the little stick form. They got the little white push them up thingy. And also, if you want to get a little bit more creative, if you have any colored pencils or markers, you can do that too. The only reason I didn't recommend something digital to draw on is that I just didn't want you to fight with a program. Paper and pencil is just really simple to do. But if that is all you have, no big deal. And if you don't have that, if you have absolutely nothing, no paper or anything, I would just say, you know, just practice the drawing on your desk with your finger, just to do the motion. Because I think doing the motions is going to also stimulate your mind. All right. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen. Now I did this the other day with a whiteboard. I have never used the whiteboard before. So this will be fun. I learned a few things about it. Like you can't erase parts of a line because it will erase an entire line. So I'm like, okay, I'll have to figure out something else. So Johnny, the picture that we were going to do that I said we were going to do, I changed.
Oh, that's okay. See, she's creative.
I don't know about creative so much as maybe indecisive. All right. So everybody ready?
Ready.
All right. We're going to start and we're going to draw near the top of your page. We're just going to start with a circle. Everybody got a circle? My circle's a little small. I probably could have done it bigger, but oops. Actually, you know what? I am going to do mine bigger because I think bigger is better. By the way, I'm drawing using my touchpad, so that's fun. So you all can look at my picture and say it's kind of junky and feel better about yourself. All right, next we're going to draw 2 more circles down here. Kind of, well, ovals, little oval. And like I said, on a whiteboard, it's going to look wonky. So
Inside the circle.
inside the circle, yes. He's looking a little mad, I think. Oh, this is a he. I gave part of that away. Okay. You get your 2 little
It's like a
circles.
pince nose.
Make a little circle in here. We're making a little eye. And make another one over here. Boy, it's much easier with a pencil, you guys, I'm telling you. It's really hard with a touchpad. All right. Next, we're going to draw a line above this one, kind of scooping down a little bit. And then on the other side, scoop it the other direction, a little curve up. We have 2 different looking eyebrows. Okay. Next, right here in between, we're going to draw a small little square. Looks like, so a tiny little nose. Over here on this side, we're going to draw a curve for a mouth. With the little tiny line here on this side. And then another little tiny line on the other side. And then one little line underneath. How's everybody doing so far?
Mine looks like a Martian.
Probably looks better than mine. Okay,
I
now
hardly left any room underneath for the last slide.
all right, now around it, we're going to make, you can connect them all, or you can leave a space and do pointies like this. And we're going to do it all the way around. What do we got here so far?
Sunshine.
Yep. Okay.
A hot sun.
We're done with him for now. We're going to go down here and start on the left side. And I want you to make an even, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, an even number of lines from here to here going down, just and small, not too big. So 1, and I want them to be vertical and evenly spaced. as
How
much as
many?
possible.
Just
Kind of hard on my, ooh.
how many do we do? Just as many as we want?
You can do, why don't you try 6 or 8?
6 to 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sheesh, mine aren't evenly spaced. Oh. Okay, how do I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to do 10 because it's not in the center of the sun. But you kind of want to get them in the center of the sun a little bit. So like they go from an equal side to an equal side of the sun about. All right. Now we're going to make points like arrowheads on top. Here and here to each line. If you want to get a super creative, you can make one super big. You can make one super short. You can make them all the same if you want to. So this is where your creativity, up to you. Do whatever you feel like doing on these. Now, if you have a little OCD, you like them all the same. All right, when you got these, take your pencil and just draw a line. Whoops, yeah, I need a line. Draw a line straight across the bottom. Try and connect them. I'm trying the best I can because it's tricky with a trackpad. I'm sure y'all drew the line much faster than I'm drawing the line. You probably went and done. Okay. Now we're going to take and make a small rectangle thing here on each one. These are houses.
Mhm.
So now you're making little doors on each one. You want to get creative? You can make an arch door. You can make a double door, a single door, whatever you want. You can put the door on the side instead of the center. Whatever you feel like doing. And if you want, you can put a little dot inside or a tiny little line for like a handle.
Yeah.
For the sake of time, I'm just going to put dots. Actually, this one, I'm going to get a little creative on this door because it's an arch, and I'm going to make it a double door and 2 little lines on either side. Okay,
That one's a church.
sure.
That's what I was thinking too. It looked more like a church.
And then make a square with a crisscross inside, and you have a window. And you can put as many or as few windows on these as you want to. You could put an arched window in. You can just give a single cross down there because maybe it's got these kind of windows. You could have no windows. Maybe they have no light. You could do a circle window. Wow, that is a really wonky circle. Just ignore my wonky circles. You could make no panes. Y'all done with your windows and I'm slow?
No, I'm not done.
Not done.
Okay. About there? All right. From the doorways, make a line kind of going out, and the line going out, make it widen a little bit as it comes near the bottom of the page. These are the walkways. Widen it a little bit. If you wanted to, you could make a road in front, not necessary. And two more little elements we're going to put in here. We're going to make a bunch of curvy things. And there's a cloud. Puff, puff, puff. One on that side, puff on this side. You can make a little extra bloop in the middle. Show it's super puffy. And then make a little curve here and a little curve here, and you have a bird. And a little curve here and a little curve here, you have a bird. If it's bigger, it's closer to you. If it's smaller, it's farther in the distance. And then you have a picture. Now this would look a little bit better if it had color. I don't have a whole lot of coloring options in here. If I try to, well, I can like scribble color, but for the sake of time, I would like to move to the next thing of getting lots of ideas. So y'all have your basic picture right now, right?
Yep.
Okay, so it is, we're a little bit behind because we started a little bit late, so I don't want to spend too much time on each of them so we can get through all the steps. So I would like to take 5 minutes, and maybe on the side of your paper, I want you to try to write down a list of possible stories or article ideas that you could come up with based on this picture.
Okay.
Try to come up with as many as you can. We're doing 5 minutes to see if you can possibly hit 10. If not, that's fine. Just see what you can get. And I'm just going to set my timer real quick here.
And I'm going to pause the recording. So remind me to restart it again. Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
So how'd you guys do? Did you come up with some ideas, even if they were wonky?
Who wants to share?
Well, I'm going to wait to share until later.
Never mind.
Yeah. So step number 3 is do not censor anything. So we plotted the brain by drawing, getting us started. We got a lot of ideas based on the drawing. And by the way, you can get a lot of ideas if you're stuck on a piece in your writing and you need to find a way for a character to do something. You can sit there and set a timer for yourself, 5-10 minutes, and try and come up with as many ideas as you can for what that character could do. So the key is to not censor anything. And so we are going to do another little drawing session. It's going to be short because I want you to get into the idea of just not censoring. So I'm going to clear my little picture, and you guys can grab a separate sheet of paper or the back side of your paper. What did I get? Before I got that, and there we go. Now here's where you can use any colors if you have them. Grab any color you want. And I want you to take your pencil and I want you, whoops, I gotta get my line here properly. Okay, I want you to draw a scribble on your paper.
A what?
A scribble.
Oh.
One big scribble. Yep, just a scribble. Everybody got a scribble? All right.
I do
Now,
not.
I want you to take a look at your scribble, and I want you to look inside your scribble and find things inside your scribble to draw on. So I'm going to change my pencil here, and I'm going to make it look a little different. And I'm going for now, I'm just going to start coloring in some of the spaces in my scribble. You can add to your scribble. You can make more things on your scribble. I can change the width of mine. That's good because, haha, all right.
So the point is to cross the lines over rather than just scribbling.
You want to make a scribble, and then in your scribble, you want to find what you might not have seen. Like I see, like right here, I see different lines in here.
Like finding shapes in the clouds or something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what you're doing is you are tapping into your subconscious. You drew a scribble without thinking about it. The point was to put something down without thinking about it, without censoring your mind. And you can look at what you have and you can color in, or you can continue to expand on it in other ways. Just letting yourself put something on a page without really thinking about it. Just add, whether it's drawing something new or coloring in a piece that's there. I just want you to get the idea into the mindset of not thinking really about what you're doing, just putting something down. If you see something in your mind to add, put it on the page. And it doesn't have to look pretty. The point is to not look pretty. The point is to create, to just let your mind create whatever it wants to create. And if you start with a scribble, it's not like you're trying to build some fantastic picture or painting. You're just trying to allow your mind to create and tap into the subconsciousness of the creativity that it has inside that often isn't allowed to come out very easily. This lets it come out a little bit more easily. You can put color on color. You can blend colors. Scribbles are pretty cool because you can make really interesting works of art out of them without having to have an idea ahead of time. And if you practice something like this on a regular basis, whether it's scribble or even just practicing putting something down with words, you're going to get better at letting the subconscious part of your creativity come out. That's why scheduling creativity is such a good idea. Now I have a stamp option, so I'm going to just put random things on my page.
Oh, that's cute.
You can take your crayons, or oops, or whatever I have here. You can take your crayons and just make big swaths, crayons or color pencil, whatever you have, make big swaths of color. The whole idea is to let your mind play. Our minds need to be able to play sometimes. Sometimes when we're writing, we get so bound up in trying to find the right words, get everything in the proper form, have a good idea, get the right characters, having them do the right thing. We forget to play. And playing is essential for our minds to be able to write well. All right, a couple more minutes, and then we're going to go on to the next step. I erased my pen. All right. Time to do the next thing. How'd your scribbles go? All right, so we have done prod your brain, get lots of ideas, do not censor anything, which is what this exercise was reminding us to do. Now we're going to persist. So hey, Johnny, are we still recording? Yes, we are. Okay. So we're going to flip your pages back over or get your original sun and buildings page out with your list of things that you came up with. And now I want you to persist. So maybe you thought you came to the end of your ideas on what you could possibly write about that sun and the building setting. Apparently, according to some research, and I could look at the data, I can't, wait to see, where was it? Well, out of a clip from the Harvard Business Review that James Scott Bell writes about, there were some studies done mentioned in that article. And the studies were on persisting, and they took several subjects and asked them to write on certain topics. And then asked them, you know, do you think you've tapped all of your ability to come up with ideas? And most people like, yes. Like, well, how many do you think you come up with? They're like, maybe 5 more. And so it's like, well, we're going to persist and see and how much you can come up with if we try this for another set of time. And so they persisted, and they were surprised to find out that on average they were able to come up with 15 or so more ideas than they originally thought. And Catherine asked if erasing is the type of censoring. Yes, I accidentally hit my erase button and didn't mean to when I undid it. So in persisting, you will tap into your more subconscious because you've gotten out of the way the things that you might most naturally think of. So when you persist in trying to come up with more ideas, you are getting to more creative things. So we're going to take another 5 minutes and see how many more ideas we can come up with based on that very first picture that we drew together. And see what you come up with. And remember, don't censor anything. If it's silly, so what? Silly can, that's where creativity comes out. If we censor it, we can censor out creativity. So don't censor. Write down if it's silly, write down if it's whatever. So I'm going to start my timer. I don't know if, Johnny, you want to pause the recording or not. We are going to go for 5 minutes and we will start. I don't see Johnny on right now, so we're just going to pause for 5 minutes. If you're watching the recording and we're still playing, you may want to fast forward 5 minutes. But we're going to go for 5 minutes, see if we can get 5 more, as many more subjects as we can on that original drawing. So here we go. All right, that's 5 minutes. I am going to stop sharing my screen because now it is time for rest, which means you need to take a break from all of your creative efforts. Get up, go do something else, that kind of thing if you're by yourself. But here, we can take a rest by sharing some of our pictures and some of the things that we thought about. We don't want to look at the ideas yet, but I'd like to see your pictures. Anybody want to share? They got to be better than mine. Mine was
The first one, you want the first one or the scribble?
either.
Probably can't see mine. It's too light.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Kind of
love that.
Oh, nice.
Oh, those are great.
Oh, I like your
Some-
son, Melissa.
Great.
Oh, I like that, Janice. Oh, I love how big your son is.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful, Rhonda. Oh, there we go. Oh, hey, that's a cool scribble, Sophia.
Hey.
Johnny, I love it. And you said you couldn't draw. See that? Hey, that is a really cool. Was that your scribble, Rachel? And
Yeah, my
Pam,
scribbles turned into little like bird type
look
creatures.
at that.
Oh,
I
wow.
see like 3 dogs.
Patricia, I love that.
I
It's
see
like
3 and
Oh, look at
Rachel's.
scribble, Janice. Oh my
see-
goodness, Patricia, look at Patricia's
Cool.
scribble. Y'all are such a bunch of creative people. Yvonne, that's great.
Wow. Wow.
I love that.
well,
I got disconnected.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's nice, Rachel. I like the sun. You added I like the tree. Look,
Yeah, I
see
did.
that?
Nice.
See, now people took other things and went with it, which I was so hoping you guys would do that. And I
You
wanted you guys to be
see the
encouraged.
words?
I can't see the words. Can you read them to us?
Okay, the tree is shelter. The church is a little bit more in the foreground, so it says foreground. It's connected and they're all like have sort of their own garden, but it's shared in front of the house and the pathways all lead to each other. And the pathway leads like all connect to each other, but outward also beyond
Wow.
that.
Wow, that's great. I love that.
Nice.
Must be a
absolutely love that.
novelist. I'm like such a picture book writer. I did everything just the way Brandy said. No embellishment. You didn't embellish anything in picture books.
At least you stayed connected. I got knocked out.
I got that, Yvonne.
But you got back. That's the important thing.
Yes, you're back.
In
Yeah.
my drawing, I made one of the clouds rain.
Oh,
My question is, are the people, can rain and sunshine happen in the same sky?
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
just sent in a.
You've never been in Houston, have you? It's an everyday thing.
We see it a lot. Yeah.
Well, I just sent in a submission to a book that, a true story that's based on kind of that concept. I think it was already in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
So,
It's like that in Florida too. Sun, it rains and the sun still shines.
If you have something isolated, just an isolated shower, it can be raining in our front yard and
Mhm.
sunshine every place else. So, yeah.
I've had it rain while it's sunny and shining. And I'm like,
Mhm.
where's the rain coming from? 'Cause I didn't even see a
Right.
cloud. That's really weird. So I'd like to know how many of you guys, when you started and you're like, oh no, we're gonna draw, how many of you thought you were doomed? And like couldn't really do anything? A couple of you, right? I'm glad a couple of you admit you're like, okay, I don't think I could do this. Now, do you feel like you were able to be creative after that? Maybe better than you thought? I see Johnny nodding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep. So I think anybody, even people that think, oh, I can only draw stick figures. Then there's people that think they're so bad they can't even draw stick figures. Even those people are able to be creative. Anybody can be creative. All it takes is prodding your brain, giving your brain a chance, and letting it come out. And then not censoring anything at all. Then sitting down, sometimes you're going to take that brain and you have to apply this is where the practice of creativity comes in. You have to apply yourself, give yourself some time to sit and do nothing but create. So you kind of force yourself sometimes maybe into a little uncomfortable position where you're not going anywhere else or doing anything else. And you're like, oh, I've got nothing, I'm kind of blank. Well, you're not really blank. You need to prod your brain. Sit down and prod your brain. Even if you start with a scribble and just prod it that way to get something flowing. And then you can take that and you can get some ideas. So you got to prod. It's kind of like you got to like poke little holes in your brain first to let some of the stuff start coming out. And then it starts coming out more. So, you know, I used to think that I wasn't very creative. And it's just that I did not practice creativity. And so I need to practice creativity. I hope that all of you will also practice creativity, choose to practice it on a regular basis going forward. Now, there's one more step that we haven't done. So we're kind of resting now. But after this, the last thing to do is assess. So you go back to your list of things that you had written down, the ideas that you got, that you generated from that first picture that we did. And then you go through and you just cross out the things that are like really common, the things that are like the first thing off your head, they're really easy to think of. And then really take a look at, what is a little bit more off the beaten path? What's a little bit more unusual? Maybe that's something that you can run with. What interests you? What that you wrote down sparks something inside you, go, I kind of like that idea. And then explore those things. So that's where assess comes in. And that is really the whole practice of creativity that James Scott Bell mentions in The Mental Game of Writing. And I don't know about you, but I want to go forward and do that. We have a few minutes left. If anybody wants to share some of the ideas that they came up with the prodding, not the prodding brain, with the getting lots of ideas, trying to think of things that you can write on. If anybody want to share any of those, you're welcome to. Pam, I know you have to leave right away. If you're interested in sharing some.
Sure. Well, what I did was I wrote down ideas and then wrote down what they were, like new kid in the neighborhood, picture book, block party, picture book, designer paint your home so it's not like all the others, article, stuff like that, alien abduction, novel. The house in the middle of the row. It's a title for a book. That's the one that I'm like, yeah, this is kind of, where do these paths lead? A poem, so I managed to come up with ideas for novels, chapter book, middle grade novel, picture book, article, all the different, and a poem. So I thought that was kind of cool because very, very little of these things would I write, but it was fun to come up with them, with the ideas. I really like In the House in the Middle of the Row.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have any idea, it's going to be weird because it's me, but but I can't do that right now because I have other stuff to finish first. But it'll go in my file for sure.
Yeah. Do y'all find that when I asked you to persist and put more ideas down, that you were able to get more ideas?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more than you thought initially you would be able to do?
Yeah.
Good. Anybody else want to share? I know Savia commented earlier that she had some weird stuff going.
Yes, give us the weirdness, Sophia.
Yeah, we want to hear the weird, Sophia, if you're there. She's still off. Oh, everybody can come back on screen too. You don't have to stay off screen. So
I had a couple ideas, Brandy. I'll put my picture back up so you can see it.
mm-hmm.
I have one church right there that has a real straight path going to it. And then I have another church down here that has kind of a curvy path.
Oh.
And because I'm a Bible teacher and a studier of denominations, I thought about a children's picture book or kind of a parable book where the pathway into one church is real straight and rigid, but the other one allows for different people to take different paths. I'm not going to go weird into Baha'i or anything like that, but sometimes it's my opinion that we as believers, we're too rigid. And we come some from my Quaker background, where we need to let the Holy Spirit work on people and not just present church as a set of rules, but as a pathway to God that each of us takes individually and uniquely. So that's my big idea.
Great. I like that.
Melissa had her fingers up too. Did you have did you want to share?
I thought it was kind of funny. I got stuck in the whole magazine or blog post rut with my titles, and they just kind of started to expand. So my first idea was life isn't always symmetrical. And then let's see, being unique in a cookie cutter world. And then I started to get kind of humorous, and I put being asymmetrical in a symmetrical group when you don't fit in with your OCD friends.
I love that.
You have to write that and read it to us next week.
Yeah.
And then the last one was fitting in is for the birds.
That's great. Yvonne.
A new neighborhood and a new church for the divorced woman.
Mm.
Yep.
Yep. Any others you want to share?
No, they were all basically all around that and where I might send it. But it's that whole thing. It's a whole new world
Mm. Yeah.
with new friends, new job, everything.
Yeah.
Catherine, did you come up with anything?
Well, it looks like a hot day to me, at least the way my sun came up. You want to see it?
Yeah.
Can you see it all right? I can't see what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
can
can
see
see it. I like that. So did you come up with any ideas based on your picture?
Well, there's cobblestones on one path. I thought of stumbling. There is no grass or flowers showing. I thought of bare lawns, and I also thought drawing 17 houses was exhausting, where I kept going when I started on the far left, and you said try to make them even on each side of the sun.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that I'd like to see birds a little more true to life than these stylized pictures. I'm a bird watcher. If your neighborhood is anything like mine, quick look out the window. There are usually quite a few different birds around.
It's neat. One of the ideas I came up with was how to bird watch in the city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, way to go.
Which was one of my persisting ideas. Anybody
It's
else?
been
have
pretty
any?
well done. You think of a unique twist on that? What city are you in?
Great.
I'm in the country, so. Rachel?
There's a bird for you.
Yeah.
Kind of far away to see.
Stays
Yeah.
right there all the time.
I had the idea while I was drawing all the doors. What if there was a village and everybody was given a house, but none of them had doors? And everybody had to build their own door. What would they look like and how would they be different? And different personalities would build different doors. That's definitely going into my file, and don't any of you steal that.
That is a great
Yeah, that's-
idea.
That's
Rhonda's
a
idea.
Rhonda. I
Love
think we
that.
should all steal
Very
it.
cool, Rhonda. I just got an idea where y'all talking about birds, because depending where you live, depends where other birds are. This might be a fun picture book, I don't know, but the coolest thing I've seen out here in the country, because I grew up in town, was the bald eagle turkey buzzard standoff in the back field. There was a standoff over a deer carcass, and the bald eagle was here and the turkey buzzard was here, and the bald eagle's mate was like further back in the field. And the difference in how they reacted to each other, and the turkey buzzard was like, and the bald eagle was like, bring it, and of course the bald eagle won, because the bald eagle, it was so cool to watch. I mean, that might make a fun something.
You lost me at deer carcass. Sorry, city girl.
Yeah, well, and the one bald eagle chased the turkey buzzard off, and we assumed what they were wanting, and the mate of the bald eagle came and sat on the side, and then later on, when they were all gone, Daryl went out and looked. He said, yeah, it was a deer carcass. So that was fun. Entertainment in the country.
It's nature.
I have that too. I know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed this session. It was a little
Yes.
bit off the beaten path, but you know what? That's what creativity is, a little off the beaten path. And that's how we end up making some really incredible stories and articles, things that people want to read.
Yep.
So Johnny, what do we got going next
Well,
week?
next week, so we're going from creativity to organization.
2 different sides of the writer's hat, right?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
next week we're going to be sharing some different organizational ideas and tips. I'm going to be showing because we talked about this one time, maybe at an after party. I don't know that we actually talked it on Writers Chat. I'm going to be sharing a template that can be used to keep track of your income and expenses that will help you when it's time to fill out your Schedule C. And then Brandy is going to show some different things as far as organizing tips and keeping track of your schedule, like a marketing submissions record and those kinds of things. And then Melissa is going to show how she uses Pinterest to keep organized in some ways with her stories. So we're going to do that. And then and then the following week, Rhonda's going to be with us to do book trailers. And I think it's the week after that we're going to ask you all to come and share your own organizing tips. So, so things that you might do that we don't cover next week, you could come and share with the group. And I've got some more Excel worksheets as far as keeping track of projects and that kind of thing. So I might do those that second week, the second time we get together for that. So anyway, so yeah, we're going from just all out creative to being very
Creatively organized.
creatively organized. Right. Yeah. So
You have to organize your creativity, right? If you don't know where all your art supplies are, how can you use them?
Exactly. Exactly. So that's where we're going. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you, Brandy. This was really a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing it. I got kind of tickled when Rachel, I believe it was, first was showing her picture, and it was all, so the trees and it was very upbeat, and so many of the things that I listed are kind of dark, and I don't really have a dark personality, but I was thinking World War II stuff, so I was thinking of the Warsaw Ghetto and sidewalks leading to nowhere and hiding in the attic. So it was kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm sort of crazy here. But anyway,
Censor nothing.
so I did not. And birds or buzzards, I wrote that down. But anyway, I'm glad you're all here. If you're watching the replay, we hope that you took the time to do these exercises with us to practice your creativity. And of course, as always, we invite you to join us every Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern, and to join our Facebook group and check out our Facebook page. So I think that's it. Everybody hang on for the after party, and we'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.